Hello, everyone, and happy 2025. Welcome to 7 Environmental's Inside ESG, where we meet with leaders in sustainability, climate, and ESG space. This series aims to provide a clear view into the ever-changing landscape of sustainability practices. I'm Doron, Marketing Director for 7 Environmental, an innovative ESG reporting solution focusing on AI-driven data collection and sustainable supply chain. Today, I'm excited to welcome Angela Maria Fasnacht, a sustainability and environment leader. Angela currently is a Princeton University Gerhard Andlinger Fellow and Chief Product and Operations Officer for PureLi, a cleantech startup, and is also member of the EPA's National Advisory Committee. Hi, Angela.
Hello, nice to see you again.
Angela, thank you for joining us today. Before we dive in, would you mind sharing with us a bit about yourself? And if you can, share with us where your sustainability journey started.
Yes, as you mentioned, as a chief product officer, PureLi is a Princeton University spinoff that develops innovative and sustainable lithium extraction technologies. My career has been, almost nearly 30 years in environmental engineering, focused on water management and production innovation. This is one of my few times coming again into an area that is a bit different, which is the lithium extraction, critical minerals extraction, but it's really related still. My career began in Colombia. I don't know if you knew about this, and I worked in Colombia in the public water and wastewater systems. And so from there, the career evolved throughout leadership roles in companies like Veolia, Suez, and American Water. Sustainability has been a central theme throughout my journey, and I'm really thankful that you invited me to be part of this series of events, of talks, because really it has shaped my passion for creating technologies and strategies that align economic progress, which is very important, with environmental responsibility. And whether I'm advising with the EPA, also have managed large-scale water contracts, and I have now scaling PureLi's technology. I'm always focusing, making sure that that the sustainability and environmental responsibility is in there, and so that we can have searching for foster collaborations between industry, academia, and government to achieve that as a goal.
Thank you, Angela. That's quite a journey. Let's dive into today's discussion. Looking at how you describe your role of CPO at PureLi, you use the term environmental responsibility, which is not a common term used by product leaders. Could you explain why this is a priority for you, and is it something other tech or product-driven companies can learn from?
Sure. Environmental responsibility reflects my belief that every product we create has a footprint: social, environmental, and economic. We leave a footprint. So at PureLi, our work directly addresses this by advancing lithium extraction technologies that minimize the environmental impact. And that has been the core of these products. For example, we have one of the technologies that enhances the brine evaporation efficiently, reducing the water usage. Typically, lithium extraction is associated with water usage. And the idea is to be able to create these products. And again, this is coming from Princeton University, the Andlinger Center for the Energy and the Environment, where the energy is the core. And so the idea is to be able to create a solution that is better for the footprint that we are leaving associated to that product. So this focus is not just ethical, but it's strategic, right? The stakeholders, investors, government, and communities, they all demand these solutions. The companies that integrate these principles really can build resilient, future-ready products. We need to think about the future, not what has happened so far, which may be okay, but we do need to think about what that future is looking for us. I believe that the tech sector definitely can have and offer these innovations, because we do have a lot of innovative, a lot of leaders that can really work on this, that have that in their mindsets. And it is already in our DNA, right? We can learn from many industries and start the adoption that way.
Thanks, Angela. I think, as you said, one thing I remember for this, and I think for other product-driven companies, is looking at the future. That's and adopting this I would say way of thought. That makes a lot of sense. Staying in the technology realm, with your experience in innovation, how may technology be a driver to sustainability and ESG practices adoption?
Yes, I mean, one of the things we do is, as technology solution providers, we leverage advanced to optimize lithium extraction processes, for instance. So the idea is to focus on a product development, even if there is an innovation. So how can this innovation be shaped to a product that can help to reduce waste and to enhance resource they use it being more efficient. So in my previous role, for instance, I led the creation of digital solutions for water quality monitoring. And these improved efficiencies and compliance. So that's one side. Or for instance, in innovations like AI today, on IoT and renewable energy systems, we can really help to start designing those to address ESG challenges at scale. And the adoption requires alignment with the real world needs, right? We need to start thinking about how we're going to define that with the needs that we have today and in the future. And one of the key is ensuring that these technologies are accessible and that are integrated into a broader policy and business frameworks. That will be the way to be able to enhance that adoption process.
Thanks, Angela. I think about a lot in our work, a lot about how can we scale a solution for real world problems. That's something that we think a lot about. I think not enough companies are looking at that, and definitely AI has a role there. From there, I would like to move to another hat you have. So from your perspective, what role do you think does the academia play in pushing sustainability beyond the research?
Oh, absolutely. This is amazing, because as you know, in the last couple of years, I've been associated with Princeton University.
Right.
Academia, I realized how much academia plays a pivotal role into translating research into actionable solutions. At Princeton, at the Andlinger Center, I've seen firsthand how collaborations between academia and industry accelerate innovation. By aligning research with industry needs, academia can really foster that breakthrough technologies or innovations in areas like renewable energy, decarbonization, and even the so known PFAS environment. Like I've been working with that with the university. So beyond technology, academia is a powerful advocate for sustainability throughout education, shaping the next generation of leaders who value environmental stewardship and who can get their education cater to what the future needs, but today.
So I would like to make a follow-up question on that. So what do you think should companies, I mean, from the private sector should they look for, and how should they connect to innovation in the academia to partner or to move forward projects, or to move forward in the way to continue the way of thought you just suggested?
Sure. I'm familiar with Princeton. So at Princeton, we have within the Andlinger Center for the Energy and Environment, we do have a protocol where we invite industries get to us and get connected with us. And if they have an interest in a particular area, they present that as an industry, and there is we can map how much research, who's researcher, which professors are in that particular area, and then they can zoom in a particular topic within the area. So if it is water, for instance, There are several professors that are working in many innovations or that have the capability to be able to adapt some of this innovation to the needs that the industry has. And so we do have this almost like the matchmaking, and that's how the industries get engaged with Princeton. And they specifically say, okay, we want to target a specific question, research question, and that's how the companies can really team up for a research question that could last for a couple of years, or maybe as a short term. Sometimes they need it faster, so we can even speed up that into within a year. So yes, it is a connection, and I'm happy to connect anybody who has more would like to know more about it. I'm happy to connect the industry with the center.
That's great. I think this kind of mismatch. Go ahead.
And I would say something else. I know a lot of these, and I'm in the innovation field, right? So a lot of these rely on IP, intellectual property. And so there are a lot of questions that I know the industries have when they approach to us saying, okay, who has the intellectual property? Princeton has a super strong office, IP office, and this is not the first time they go over this. And so working with them, identifying that within while the agreement is made, that's how everything gets resolved. Universities, specifically Princeton, they don't have the need to make the money. They have the need to foster this research, right? To move innovation, and so that's the goal. And the key here is to be able to agree the terms ahead of the game with the IP office, and this is something that they do very often.
That's great, and I think that's key for this matchmaking. It's meeting the interest of both innovation and the projects and the private sector being involved and being able to move these forward.
Exactly.
That was very helpful. One before final question is we can't ignore news and be kind of on current events. And I would like to address some of these current events. Following recent US elections, many are wondering what kind of changes we might see in sustainability practices and reporting in the US and on a global scale. What if you have expectations for the influence of US policy on sustainability, and will specific states, in your opinion, follow the recent EU CSRD directive?
Yes. So US policy is at a crossroads regarding sustainability, right? Federal and state policies can significantly drive and hinder global ESG practices. There is the growing alignment with international standards. You mentioned it, such as the EU CSRD. It really suggests that states like California may lead the way, pushing the stringent reporting and compliance measures. But states, regardless of who is going to be in office, they really have their own autonomy to be able to move this forward. And industry on its own also have the best interest to be able to be more sustainable, more aligning to what the future is. And not only that, population is already asking for that. The users are already asking for that. We have more diverse users that, regardless of whoever is in practice, prices can still be a player. Again, with innovation, we can get to competitive pricing, being still sustainable. And however, political shifts can create uncertainty, I know. So my hope is that in the public and private sectors, we continue to prioritize sustainable practices, regardless of whatever federal direction is going to go. And as market demands, a global commitment like the Paris Agreement remain influential. So we need to continue to do that in all mindsets, including our innovation mindset, and as a user as well.
Yeah, I agree, especially in terms of users, and I agree. We had a conversation here in this series with Bailey Church from Canada, and you see, this is, as you said, it's an international thing, and the environment is not waiting for one set of elections or another. It's the issues are here, and they're here to stay. We need to address them, and yeah, and you see the different directives coming into place by different countries, basically all over the world. So I think the international play
Exactly.
here could be very.
That is pressure. Yeah,
Thanks for that. I have a bonus question, if I may.
sure.
Cool. One thing we look at as and kind of look at the greater community is to get more people involved. Looking at the near future, what kind of motivations and drivers do you see evolving in the near future for sustainability?
Um, I look at my own kids, children. I have 4 children, and their generation, and what triggers them, what moves them. Um, they are already seeing and experiencing how they are, extreme weather in some places, or scarcity in others, and they are, you know, even though I feel that yes, academia plays a big role, but by the time that you get to university, you already have been raised. So it's us as individuals, as the other parents, and then it's our role to be able to get them exposed to what the current the moments are, what history is telling us, and has been, and how different the look forward is if we don't act. So there are that is steps that we can take today, and that even though we're one single person, we can really influence by not only the choices that we make as a person, but also the choices that we make as a professional moving forward. And I feel that that's a responsibility that we all have to have in our hands.
I can really relate to that, and I think I also part but for me personally, transitioning from tech to environment was looking at the kids I have at home too. So it makes a lot of sense, and I have to say the next generation, they speak a language a bit different than us. The amount of
Thank you.
understanding, and they talk a lot about the responsibility for the environment. So I can really relate
Yes,
to what you just said. I think that's answering it really well. I'll probably quote you on that soon
sure.
enough. Um,
Absolutely.
Angela, thank you so much for joining us today. This was a great talk, and would love to have you again. If there's is there anything else you'd like to add before we wrap this up?
No, I mean, really, thank you for this opportunity. I am very, I appreciate that you chose me to share my journey and
Oh,
my
pleasure.
insights. It really is important. It's very important to be able to feel that, there is this momentum going on, and that is things are growing. That is not an isolated topic or isolated entity talking about it. That is a full movement, and it's a full movement that doesn't have a political party or color. It is a movement that has the earth color. So that's the idea. And honestly, if you or anyone who is listening would like to continue the conversation about PureLi, or about the university engagement with Princeton and the Andlinger Center, I'm very happy to feel free to connect. Uh, we can connect using LinkedIn or any other way. So yeah, I'm looking forward being able to talk to as many of you, about the sustainable future and how we can play a role there.
I'm sure some of our listeners will have questions for you, and thanks for pointing out where that we can reach you. I would like to say thank you again for joining us today. And before we end, I would like to thank all our listeners and viewers for joining us today, and wish them all a happy 2025, and hopefully we'll all have a more sustainable year. And if anyone has questions regarding Seven Environmental, feel free to send an email to hello@sevenenvironmental.com. Look us up on LinkedIn or our X page. And for more Inside ESG episodes, look for it on YouTube or Spotify. And hope to see you all again next time. Angela, again, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. Nice meeting you.
Thank you.